Hi, I'm Alan Ross, and we are at DistribuTech 2025. We've got interviews with thought leaders, and we'd love for you to see what we've done here. Hey, thanks for joining us. We're going to go visit Powerside now. We are in 2025 at DistribuTech, now branded D-Tech. Let's go see what Powerside has got going on. Ross, good to meet you again.
Hey, good to see you as well, Alan.
All right, you have a lot going on. I want you to talk a little bit about it in mass, and then we're going to get into some of the details about all of the different things.
Great, wonderful. So as far as Powerside, what we're here at the show really featuring is all about our analytical and power quality capabilities in order to serve the utility industry. One of the key aspects for the utilities these days with the grid transformation, the growth issues in capacity and generation and the diversity of it is you really need to have visibility into what's going on your grid and what is actually occurring throughout the day. So what it fundamentally equates to is you need power quality visibility 24/7.
Right.
And so that's what we're providing here at Powerside. And the key to doing that, of course, is to have high fidelity measurement capability out on the grid itself around various key customers for utilities, such as data centers, such as solar sites and things of that nature. So, for us at least, it's all about providing that visibility and then taking the data that we collect, pushing it up to the cloud, and analyzing it from there in order to produce for customers, a 24/7 view of their assets.
One of the funny things is if you said that push up to the cloud 5 years ago, they would all say, no way. Now they're saying, where's the data? I don't want it. You put it somewhere that analyze for me, right?
Well, one of the key aspects of, we push things up to the cloud but we've also found some utilities still like to keep the data local.
Yeah.
So recently we purchased the company DistribuTech Concepts.
Okay.
And what they do is provide power quality analytics and capability, but it really is at the site itself.
Oh, yeah.
So it enables then the utilities that are not quite ready, to your point, push it up to the cloud to still have it there. So we're catering, so to say, to the needs of our customers, but we do believe that the cloud is going to be the key going into the future, because when you create this much data and you want that much visibility, it's best to do it in the cloud.
Yeah.
And so this is all part of what we believe is the transformation and the migration of utilities in the grid.
Excellent. So what I want to do now, I want to see the details. So I'm going to ask Cameron to step in and help us a little bit. As he shares the details, I assume that the ElectroTech person is Bertel?
Yeah, Bertel Christian is our Vice President General Manager for ElectroTech, so you get a chance to chat with him as well.
That's going to be great. Then I get to talk with Seth, I get to talk with Cameron, and we get to find out more.
Great.
Ross, thank you so much.
Good to see you, Alan. All right, cheers.
Let's move in here. Cameron, how are you?
Hey, good to see you, Alan.
Okay, you have the unenviable task of teaching me all about... Now, understand this. I've done a couple of interviews with Seth, and he wrote an article about all of this for our February 2025 publication.
Oh, perfect.
And he asked me if I read it. And that's just embarrassing. I edited it, but yes, and I love what you guys are doing. It's amazing.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So what we have here is actually our full range of power quality monitoring products. Everything from our flagship PQ3, which is really the most critical piece to gather that information at the grid for the utility customer, and then from there we have kind of more of our grid edge focused product, which is our PQ Edge here. So this is really going to be right at the grid edge there to gather that sort of information and then talk to a local controller to be able to make decisions on.
When you say grid edge, you're talking about the distribution side of the grid edge.
Exactly.
So does that also include the new grid edge, which is wind and solar coming this way?
Exactly. So it's both ways. So it's a more cost-effective solution to put at that grid edge to really gather that information back for the customer there as well.
PQ Edge, PQ3. See, even I can remember.
There you go, right? It's an easy
one.
Now you got another one. Now we got another one. And the last one here is is a bit more complicated, but is our micro PMU product. So
That's not a PQ anything. It's a
not- it's-
okay.
I tried to fit the PQ into there, but it didn't work, right? But so really what this is a PMU that is designed for distribution grid. So PMU stands for Phasor Measurement Unit.
Okay.
And that is really to understand stability and to see if a utility can add more things like renewables, DER, all those things you were just discussing right there. So this is what the micro PMU is, and it's really designed for the distribution grid.
You could have called it PQM.
PQM?
Yeah,
That's a true
That's right. This is when it's installed. This is what they're looking at.
Yeah, so this is our portable solution here. So if somebody is going to do a site survey or anything like that, if they want to understand if they can, add more capacity, but they don't have a place to put a permanent unit quite yet, this is the perfect kit to go and take out there and use something like that. So we'll embed a cell modem in here and all the other things that the utility will need in that perspective.
Excellent. So take me around. Tell me what it looks like when it's on a pole.
Yes, exactly. So one of the things...
Here we go.
Here we go, right? So one of the things we discovered from our utility customers was they didn't like to be able to piecemeal the solutions themselves. So what we were end up delivering for them is a fully packaged solution, everything with antennas, cell modem in here, already built in, whatever spec they'd like, and to make it as easy as possible. Because you guys can imagine, you're 30 feet up in the air on a pole, making quick connections and everything. Oh yeah, it is not ideal. So that's what we really tried to do for the utility customers, both in this package, and then this is a bit of our newer package here as well.
What's inside here?
Yeah, so inside of here, we took that same concept. Okay, we actually pre-wired everything to quick disconnect terminals on the bottom.
Yep.
So all the utility customer or the lineman has to do when they're installing this is get a quarter turn on the bottom of the package. So 3/4 turns and bring the power in.
Yeah.
And the unit's up and running.
I love it.
That's
because you know what? They have fewer people doing this work, and they're not as trained as they used to be. So you got to make it foolproof.
And the time, right? So the amount of time they can be in an outage is just going down and down and down. So that's really where we're seeing this type of product take off as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Cameron. I appreciate it very much. Okay, now we're going to go see something that is very unique. We're going to go here to Bertle, and we're going to find out about the new acquisition, ElectroTech. What's the other word? ElectroTech Concepts. Okay. And you were the founder of ElectroTech Concepts?
I was president and the CEO of ElectroTech Concepts.
And tell me, is it on here? You're going to tell me a little bit about it?
Yes, absolutely. So ElectroTech Concepts.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is this just been recent?
Not really. So ElectroTech Concept was founded sometime in the mid-1980s. So the company is around for many years, and over the years exchanged a few hands of ownership. And as you know, Powerside acquired ElectroTech Concepts in March 2025. Okay. And I believe that will just improve the Powerside offering to have state-of-the-art software along with the products.
Since it's March 2025, it has been very recent. But you all are figuring this out. I think I kind of know a little bit about it, but explain for our audience what it means when they come together.
Absolutely. So Powerside had a very good hardware, as you know, some of the meters, and that actually collects the data in the field. However, what do we do with that data? That's the important question. And there are a couple of softwares available that allow data to be concentrated and put it into a database. However, what they miss is making the data an actionable intelligence, something that they can use and apply in the field. And PQView, which is the flagship offering of ElectroTech, actually allows the data not only to be collected, but also useful because it has a lot of analytics for engineers and the utilities. It's a device agnostic. So it can communicate with a lot of company meters and a lot of devices. It can talk in different languages. And we have hardware solutions where we can do it on-premise and we can also do it cloud-based offering.
One of the biggest things you hear from higher level people at utility, you hear it everywhere now, is interconnectivity. Don't sell me something that only talks to your
Exactly.
Don't make it so that you're stuck into one part of my system. be agnostic to.
Yes, and utilities want that. They want to be able to buy meters from various companies.
Oh, yeah.
And the software allows you this is a benefit for the customer.
Absolutely.
Obviously, we have good integration with Powerside meters, and it's because it's one company now, so it's very much integrated, embedded. But one of the key features that the utilities like is fault detection and location.
Right.
And there are other companies who try to do fault location, but it's not as accurate as PQView does.
There's a lot of them that say they do it. The reality is they say it's out on that line somewhere.
Exactly. So let me delve a little bit into the fault location. Let's say there's a big city and you have a whole block which is out of power.
Right.
And a lot of these cities have the distribution and transmission underground, under the roads and under the buildings. So where do you find the fault? How do you find where the fault occurred, right? So what PQView does, it gathers the power quality data from all these measuring devices that the utility has. It communicates with everything. It constantly records and stores in the local database, right? And then it has a state-of-the-art algorithm that applies on their power quality signatures. And then what it does, it actually plots the fault on Google Maps. So a utility technician would look at it and say, oh, wow, that's where the fault is. And they send the technician, isolate the fault, bring the power back again. So now think about it, that if the fault is isolated and detected right away, that can save hundreds of thousands of dollars for utilities, because now they have the power back on again. And we have use cases and actual cases where utilities have saved a lot of money. And that is the key for PQView.
I would love to publish one of your use cases to be able to say, hey, this is what we say it does. This is what it did.
Yeah. So, and those are actual data.
So I'm going to publish here.
Oh, absolutely. That's good.
Anything else about the marriage?
Yeah, and because of this Powerside became a really strong offering, because now you have one company having a solid software offering, and we also have solid hardware metering offering.
Right.
And that kind of like combines the whole thing. And the third arm of a Powerside is corrections, which also is very useful for PQView and how it can help the corrections business as well.
Yeah. And there's a lot more power quality issues going on in today's web, today's network, primarily because of DER. You've got a lot of things coming in.
Yeah.
So the ability to detect where it is pretty important.
So yesterday I was talking to this gentleman from India, and what they have a problem where the train regeneration, right? And it creates havoc in their electrical grid because it feeds the power. So what PQView does is actually finding out where the fault occurred, and they can prove it to the railway. It's a government control, right? And it proves it over there. And then they are going to charge back the railways for giving dirty power to the grid. And PQ is helping it.
And see, the railways, and you pay us for the power, now they're going to charge you for dirty power.
That's good. I mean, you want a good power, though.
Earl, thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Nice.
There's somebody I need to talk to. There's one more person that I should be talking to here. The president, Seth. So, Seth Johnson, it's good to see you again.
Great to see you.
Didn't we do an interview with you?
Yeah, it was just yesterday, right?
All right, so it's somewhere on the web. We're going to see that. Close things up for me. Talk a little bit about all of it as it fits together.
Yeah. So, with Powerside, obviously, as you've heard, we focus particularly on power quality. That is our niche. It's a very specific niche.
Yeah.
Everything from monitoring or detection, right, all the way through to data analytics, but also there's a correction side of it. So
that part I love, because the analytics part, people say they can do, and I don't think they do it well, but they say they can do it. But when you can say, oh, here's the problem, and here's how you correct it, that's the next step.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you see images here? This is our CubeScan platform. Okay. And so this is where we're pulling data from the hardware that Cameron showed earlier,
right,
going up to the cloud. But what we've actually done, Alan, is we've put together several reporting capabilities in this software. So it can tell you whether or not you're meeting compliance standards, or if you have harmonics issues, or various other power quality phenomenon. And then what we can do is provide clients with corrective action, corrective solutions. So I like to say, people know us because of our products, but we're really a solutions company.
Yeah, right.
You know,
And that's what people want, outcomes. So it's almost like you can create a work order for specific work. Do you realize how that important it is to a guy that's running a system that says, I have a work order here. I need truck so-and-so. And so. Yeah, that is brilliant.
maybe at one point we get this to where, essentially this thing just spits out the product and I don't have to do anything anymore, right?
That's what they want. People don't want to know what the process is. They want to know what the outcome is. And will the outcome make my grid safer, more secure, deal with a lot of new issues coming in, power quality being one of the most important new issues happening in the grid out there.
Yeah,
Anyway,
absolutely. Yeah, and so some of our solutions here, obviously, Cameron showed some of this grid edge solution, but one of the things we released at DistribuTech last year was the pole M bar. Okay. And so if you ever drive around and look at utility power poles like I do, I know it's kind of a weird thing to do.
I look at transformers.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. You'll see kind of capacitors that are, distributed amongst the grid. And what we've actually done is, with certain utilities across North America, we've converted those capacitors into actual filters. So if we're actually now taking what's well-known capacitors that are distributed throughout power distribution lines and converting them to filters to help dampen and bring down the harmonic distortion on the distribution network. And that's what this is designed for here. So, we're implementing this on the East Coast, so there's a lot more overhead lines.
Right.
But, utilities are certainly seeing a value for that.
Now you're taking the existing capacitors, or are you having to...
We're just replacing it with this place to get, basically, yep.
So, PQ3, next one is PQM. I know he's not calling it PQM, but I thought that was a brilliant name. No royalties needed. But I think just talk lastly about this acquisition of DistribuTech, because that's kind of like the next step for you guys, right?
Yeah, I think, absolutely. I mean, you talked earlier about, the cloud-based solution, right? And we still have a lot of utility customers who are not necessarily comfortable with it yet, just from a cybersecurity standpoint and, other challenges there. So, bringing on DistribuTech allows, on-site monitoring. So the servers are totally, owned by the utility.
Yeah.
And then it also gives us ability to look at data from other sensors, not just from the ones that we're manufacturing. Okay. So now it's giving us a full another layer of ability to look at data, and eventually essentially bring that to our cloud-based platform, or, continue to keep it as an on-premise solution for utilities.
That is excellent. Well done to everybody. Give Ross and Cameron and Bertle and yourself kudos. That was well done. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Al. I appreciate it.
I can announce this right now about your role is we just created an executive editorial board.
Yeah.
And you're going to serve on that, right?
Yeah.
It's on camera.
All right. It's here. So it's legit. It's happening.
Legit. The executive editorial board is going to give us guidance and kind of bring back to us what's happening in the market. But thank you for doing that. Thank you for everything you do.
Yeah. I appreciate it, Al. Thanks.